Yeah, thanks, Matt. You're calling me Dumbo now. I love it. That's really good. All
That's a
right, we're here with another episode
lovable
of the
Disney
Risk Control
character.
Show. It's Steve Wilmes and Matt Keita Jones on. She's out doing stuff. I don't know what she's doing.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
we're talking about Slippery Trippery. It's the name of our new in-person training for slips, trips, and falls, and really looking at shoes and footwear and how things affect our stability as we're out there. So we just did this for kitchen staff, right? I mean, this was
Mm.
really fascinating stuff. We sat down one beautiful Friday, and what did we do? I mean, we just worked on all kinds of different training programs,
Yep.
coming up with new tests and new activities and interactions and all kinds of stuff. I mean, we had a blast. You brought over some old shoes, and I think
Really old shoes. Yeah,
oh,
those things were beat up.
yeah, to say the least. To say the least. Well, tell everybody what we did. You know.
Well, essentially, we wanted what our concept here with Slippery Trippery is we want to make sure that people are aware of how important their footwear is, especially if they're working in a kitchen or on surfaces that could get wet or get other substances like food or oil on it that makes it very slippery to walk on. So with the importance of having the proper footwear to handle that is central to our training. So we wanted to know, how are we going to show this? So we put together some different materials. We have a force measuring,
Force meter, yeah.
yeah, force meter, where we basically take these shoes, we tied a loop at the other end.
Don't be too descriptive. We don't want anyone stealing our cool ideas.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But basically, we wanted to see, okay, we have concrete. Let's pull this old beat up shoe that I have that used to be a non-slip shoe for use in restaurants. See how it actually goes over. How much force does it take to pull it? And more force means more grip, more friction. So it's more able to handle those slips and falls. But then we tossed on different sorts of substances. So we put on some oil, and that
Some
thing slid.
grapes
Oh, yeah. And
and
the
some
yeah, we put
bananas.
grapes,
Yeah.
bananas,
Well, first I
water.
created a board with a bunch of different surfaces on it to
Right.
illustrate the different types of surfaces that people would be walking on. Yeah, and then
Mm-hmm.
we basically weighted down these shoes and pulled them across there, and it was fantastic. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I think our trainees really got a kick out of it. Not they got a kick out of it. Yeah, they got a kick out of it. All right, they got to
Right.
participate. They got to see this, and it's always amazing when you see with your own eyes the effects that you think aren't really important, right? That one
Yeah.
grape. I loved it. I was like, "Who wants to smash the grape?" It's like, "I do!" Wham! Smashing grapes, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing to see our trainees' eyes widened to see how easily the shoes moved across certain substances. I remember
Yeah.
we did the grapes, and I turned to, and this was, and I turned to the trainees and I said, do you guys work with grapes? And I'm like, we always work with grapes. We have
Grapes
grapes everywhere. So this was,
everywhere.
yeah, that was the impression I got for them. So this was very relevant to what they do, which means that grapes are going to end up on the floor, and they needed to make sure they had that proper footwear and be able to stay on their feet if they happen to walk across an errant grape.
Yeah, every time we go to some of the school district clients, they're like, "We're going to do training today, and we invited everybody, and we're going to do it in the cafeteria." My heart sinks because I'm like,
Right,
who's gonna slip and fall today?
right.
And slip and falls can be deadly, man. I
Oh
mean,
yes,
they are deadly. But
oh
yeah,
yes.
the shoe test was pretty interesting, and I got a couple shoes here, and I just want to show you how. I mean, these are actually shoes that fit me. This is how big these things are. I mean, my foot is massive. Oh, my head's really small. I don't know which one, but
You're
these
Shaquille
things.
O'Neal.
I mean, this dude. These are size 14s. Okay, they're
Right.
massive. I mean, it's just massive. But they're both steel-toe tennis shoes. This is a New Balance, slip and oil resistant, and this has the ASTM tag in there for everyone
Good
to
deal.
see. And you know
Right.
what? Um, I put these on just for a quick second. You know, they're pretty good. Like when you get on the surface, these are the Wolverines. I feel like these have a little more stick to them. I mean, even just
Okay.
doing this, I can feel it. Again, ASTM, steel toe, all that good stuff. But what was fascinating was I was wearing my Timberlands out there,
Hmm.
and uh, after we used your old shoes, I was talking to them about the slip resistant coating and how that wears off and how many miles you get out of a shoe and all this kind of stuff. And we put mine on there that I was wearing that day, and like they just slid right across the thing. There was
Right.
very few newtons of force in the drag, and I'm like, yeah, that the slip resistant coating has worn off. It's gone. Like
Mm.
it's not that thick on these shoes unless it's really permeated through the rubber all the way through it. You know, it wears off as you're walking on concrete and other things. So you got to replace your shoes often. And even when you have these, you got to have good balance. We ran through a bunch of balance exercises, which they really loved, you know. But um, I think it's important to, you know, when you're looking at slips and trips and falls, to really assess the workers that you have and the balance. I mean, the balance starts to fall off as we age, and we
Yes.
never really do anything with that. And so, from a risk management safety standpoint, I gotta get these shoes off my desk. They're just so they're massive, dude. They're
They're so
massive.
big. Don't crush your desk, Steve.
Yeah, I know. Boom, boom. I feel like that guy I saw in the movie the other day. So you know, assessing where they're at with their balance. You know, we do a couple balance tests and we show them how to reintegrate balance into their lives, and it's fascinating because a lot of them think they have great balance and they don't. You know,
Right.
they really don't, and that's going to affect your claims pretty quickly. You know, if you slip and you have good balance and you're able to catch yourself or maintain your balance so you don't hit the ground, that's really good. The other thing is, you know, do people know how to fall? You know,
Yeah.
and we do it in martial arts all the time. We do break falls and you know not to stick your hand out and land on your wrist and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. How to roll with things, and you know that all has to be taught too if you're really
Mm.
going to get in there. And then you know assessing vision and these types of things. So yeah, the basics of slip and trip and fall is very elementary. You know,
Yeah.
watch where you walk. Don't leave things
Right.
laying out there like
Yeah.
grapes and bananas and all the other junk. And I always love, Matt, like we talk about that even with forklifts, right? We're like,
Mm.
I love that one class we did where you and I went out early and we went through the warehouse because we know they're always going to say, we don't have oils in our warehouse. You know, oh, really? Salad dressing, oil, and
Yeah.
mayonnaise, and what else do we find? I mean, all kinds of junk
Oh yeah.
that
Oh
is
yeah.
all over the place. Like, okay, yeah, you're not using these things in your warehouse, but you're storing them, and if they leak, you got problems. So
Yep.
we did that, but the best part of that was we talked about it in training, which was the hydraulic leaks and
Mm.
how you know you got to really do your pre-trip inspections and everything. And we always
Right.
tell our clients, make sure you got a good forklift before we do forklift training. So they have it all charged up, ready to go. They back it out, and there's a big hydraulic and oil leak all over the floor. You're
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
what is that? They go, oh, it's scheduled for repair. Like, didn't we just talk about this? Didn't we just say that, even if you don't have these substances in your warehouse, your forklift itself can create these slip and fall hazards.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh
that's how
yeah.
people get injured all the time, and you got to really pay attention to that. So, yeah, footwear is important. It's really important, and
Yep.
understanding, you know, how often you need it and things like that. So, looking at your claims, looking at your incidents, uh, making sure, like, you remember when we would go to Arizona,
Mm.
we look at the one manufacturing facility, and we'd be like, hey, you guys need to have a cleanup every
Yeah,
day.
yeah, there was a lot of patches of oil and different substances we couldn't even identify on the ground throughout there. So
Right.
yeah, and it's just natural byproducts of what they do. So it's really critical that they stay on top of cleaning and making sure that
Yeah.
that all that is taken care of.
Yeah. Sweep, clean, degrease, all that needs to happen on a routine basis. And
Mhm.
they're like, no, 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 no. It's gotta happen. Gotta happen. Gotta happen. So, I think with slips, trips, and falls, make your classes fun, make them interesting.
Yeah.
Get some shoes out there. If you're actually giving vouchers or buying uniforms for the guys, have them turn their, like, our one client, they got a big trash barrel full of old boots, and it's great because it takes
Yep.
some of those, and you can do a lot with that. You cut the soles off and put bricks on them and show different things, and just really let people understand through touch and through the sensorial impact of things with their own eyes. I mean, we do that even with the hard hats, where
Yep.
it's really impactful to see what happens when those things come into play. And I love that too, because a lot of the guys are wearing hard hats all the time, or kind of don't wear them, and they're like, oh, I had no idea it would do
Right.
that, you know?
Yeah, it's not they think it's not necessary. Then we do a demonstration such as putting a hard hat on a watermelon,
Right? Or on
and then
Matt and whacking him with a hammer.
that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll remove that. We'll drop something heavy on that, and then the watermelon is just fine. Then we remove that, and we're like Gallagher, the old comedian
Oh,
Gallagher.
I
That
love
watermelon's
Gallagher,
everywhere.
man. Gallagher's awesome.
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really important. Hard hats are important, footwear is important, making sure that they're up to speed. I remember one of the other things that stood out to me is how long do these footwear tend to last? It's going to be about maybe 500 or 600 miles if you're lucky. Depending on what you're walking on. And I remember I was asking some of our trainees, well, how long have you had your shoes? And some were saying it's like, oh, we've had them forever. A year, 2 years, 3 years. So like, oh, okay. Well, who tracks their steps here, right? And a few of them did. And I said, okay, well, how many miles do you walk in a day on an average day of work? And they might say it's like 4 or 5. By the end of
Easy.
the day. So okay, so in 100 days, which using my fast math, Steve, that's a little bit more than a quarter of a year. Your shoes are no longer good anymore.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah, no,
all of
it
it,
was funny too because one of the ladies, I do 10,000 steps a day. And I said,
right?
good for you. Now, how
Yeah.
many miles is that? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, your average stride's 3 feet, so that's 30,000. That's 5 miles a day, you
Yep.
know? And they're like, and you're wearing tennis shoes, which are only good for 400 miles, so you're even less than 3 months. And they're like, really? Really? I've had these shoes for 2 years.
Yeah.
Two
Right.
years?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah,
Exactly.
your Converse aren't getting it done. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah,
No,
your
they are
your
not.
Vans not getting it done. And now we may get a hit from them and say our shoes last 800 miles. Well, that's good. I'm happy for you, but they're not going to withstand. And I'm sure these people are probably putting in 10 miles a day is what really is the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And some of them, Steve, you mentioned even like basic sneakers like Converse
Oh yeah, all the girls are under
I,
that.
right.
They
I
all.
see Crocs, Steve.
Oh yeah, the one
I see
lady came
people
in
wear
in flip flops, and I'm like, "What are
or
you
flip
doing?"
flops.
She's
I'm
like,
like,
"I'm
what are
on
you?
vacation. You just came into the workplace. You may be on vacation, but you're in training and you're working
Right.
right now. So go back out to your car and drive your butt home
Yeah.
and get your shoes."
Yeah. Get real shoes.
Unreal,
Yeah.
man. Unreal. Unreal. So
Yeah.
that's
It's
all good stuff. Don't forget, check us out on social media. You can find us at Wilmes LLC on all the major social media networks. And, Matt and I are offering 20% off for all our new clients. So don't forget to check us out for that as well. We got a lot of great programs out there. Our training's, I think our training's some of the best and most interesting and fun.
yeah. A lot of fun. Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, yeah, we'd be happy to have you. If you got questions, comments, leave them below. And don't forget to check out all of our cool information. We got Dollar Training Club, we got Udemy, and we're on the web where you can find all of our, blog posts and podcast, and all those podcasts are on YouTube as well. So check them all out, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Risk Control Show. By the way,
Yeah.
we're looking for a good YouTube video editor, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah, we'll have
putting
to
the
put
word
that up
out.
front.
Yep. Do you guys know somebody or
we
you
want
yourself?
we want our viewers to enjoy watching our videos.
Exactly. Exactly. So something that'll make me look like a movie star, Steve,
Well, you
instead
do
of the
look
way I
like a
look
movie
right now.
star. I just don't want to tell you which movie.
Yeah, just which movie exactly.
You're no Tom Cruise.
I am not. No, that's
No
most
Brad
definitely
Pitt.
true. Yeah, we can use the help if you know somebody or you yourself
But you
have
got
some
to be good.
skills.
I mean, you got to really
Yeah,
know how to spice these things up.
right,
Yeah.
right. Reach out to us. It's an opportunity. We can really turn these videos into something. So reach out to us and we'd
We want
love
to see
to
you
see
take
your
us
work.
from 3 viewers at least to 5 viewers. No, right? 5 million viewers. Come on.
Yep.